You're welcome back to the program. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show. My name is Favor Obinyaluba, and of course, Ojinwachuku is still with me in the studio. We've just been joined by Godson Ujoku, Product Manager, Co-Organizer at GDG Enugu, and Precious Onyewuchi, Open Source Program Manager, Co-Lead GDG Enugu. Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Hi, good morning.
Welcome, guys.
People look very techy. Look like people in
It's
tech.
because of the glasses. Should I leave
No, it's
them?
not because of the
I don't
glasses.
think
There's
so.
an aura around tech people.
Nah, this is my casual fit, please.
Exactly. Tech people are always casual.
No.
Hello.
I'm being very stereotypical today, but you will look like tech people.
Okay.
Embrace it.
Thank you.
We agree to disagree.
So GDG Enugu is Google Developer Enugu, and you guys are at the forefront of fostering tech innovation and collaboration in the Southeast Nigeria, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about GDG Enugu, how it started, the mission, tell us about it.
All right. So I think I'll just take this. So Google Developer Group is a global community. So basically, it's started by Google, and each location or each geography has their own chapters and subchapters. And for GDG Enugu is more or less the distilled version, coming down to MD Enugu. And it's for everyone who is interested or involved in tech, regardless of their role. And the goal is more or less to foster conversations, share knowledge, and build networks in a positive manner.
So like you said, it's a global. There is GDG everywhere
Yes,
Yeah.
there's GDG.
in all the in all the states.
Provided they are willing people to organize the community.
And handle it.
You can handle it. When did Enugu start?
2018.
No.
Okay.
It's way before
We'll send
that.
you a query after this.
Yeah.
There won't be
Sorry.
any query. So the reason why she says 2018 is because of the previous person before me, Tochukwu Gabriel, T-Boy. Anyone who doesn't know T-Boy doesn't.
You've not known anybody in the tech community.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
T-Boy used to be the organizer before he retired. So before T-Boy,
Before he retired.
yes,
Yeah.
retired.
Okay.
Why did he get?
Huh?
Why did he get there? Why did he retire?
So T-Boy has an affinity for art. So he's pursued other things. You know that
This is
saying
not
when-
about T-Boy, Sha. Well, just when I hear people retire, I'm like,
It's
so
just-
early.
It's the word I use.
No,
Yeah,
It's the word I
okay,
use. So
okay.
currently now
So he
he's
left
community
tech for
advisor.
art.
No, we still call him. He's still like on an advisory part, but he's
Oh.
not very active.
You see, T-Boy, you are really a very strong part of this, but
Yes.
please continue.
Oh, he knows that I say the word retire around him.
Oh,
And he
okay.
just short.
Oh,
Don't worry.
That's fair. That's fair.
No
So when
queries
did
for me.
GDG Enugu start?
It's at this point we're getting towards 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's pretty much underground and whatnot before now. So community has grown stronger from a group of gathering in a room to using a big hall and
Yeah,
whatnot.
and then hosting about 8,000 people.
Wow. It's very impressive. I mean, it's really underground. People have done a really good work. So why are we making it popular now? Why you guys no longer gatekeeping tech?
Yeah.
Yes.
Keeping is a loaded word.
It's true. I said it to my
yeah,
future.
somehow
We may not
though,
gatekeep
are you guys
it.
gonna keep
For
up
something to
with
be
No.
happening
industry
for
in
close to
Enugu?
10 years. It's a gatekeep now.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's
This
not.
was not just gatekeep, you are fence keep, everything.
I beg to differ. So I would explain once more again. It's until recently before tech became cool.
Okay.
Before now, it's more or less the nerds or the people who have affinity for it.
Mm.
So
So
you might put an activity together and you just have
Just
a few
a
people.
friend of a friend, almost like he invited.
But as the purchasing power has been reduced, more people are finding their ways into it. For good reason, of course. Nobody blames why you choose. I mean, everyone is in for their
Anything is valid.
So you're saying people are joining tech because of the money?
If that's why you are
If-
joining, please come.
There's no shame in that. It's
There's no
honest, it's
shame.
honest living.
Oh no, me. I used to be passionate about it, but now I'm passionate about
The
What
money.
comes?
yes.
Other interest.
Of course.
So let's talk about women in tech, because
okay.
I think is one thing that is growing in this generation, right? So how is it thus far?
Women in tech. Are we talking about gender, like just
Yeah,
Enugu
gender
or
right now.
generally?
There used to be guys, with their laptops doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
But these days, I have a friend. The chick travels all around the world and it's tech. The company bringing her here, there, and whatnot, right? And she's big. She stays in this Enugu, but she's making a lot of money, right? So it's a great deal, right? So let's have a conversation about women approaching tech in this period.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually really cool. There was one of the events that we had, and one guy was saying it's really nice to see that you can find more women at events that before it used to just be men.
Yeah.
I find that interesting mostly because probably my point of view, but every single place I've had to be in, thankfully, I've had to meet other women there, right? And typically there's a space of awareness and, oh, this is not, everybody's saying, oh, there are events happening, but why is it just women? Why is it just women? And on the one hand, it might look like it is overbearing, but if you do actually ask questions, you find out that these programs are not typically enough, not necessarily because they're a lot, but more the kind of change that you're expecting to see out of it. Sometimes it doesn't come out, or there are more people who do not have access to this information, or even those who have the access to it, there are still the stereotypes of why are you doing tech, right? Or close your laptop, that's a boys thing. It sounds like it doesn't happen anymore, but when you have conversations with people, it's very interesting to learn that these things still happen, or somebody being relegated to doing more housework because, well, I don't see why you should be on your computer for that long, but you do need time to spend on these things. But anyway, I think something else that's also coming out of it is that more parents are more aware, so you understand that I need to give my child space to do this. I need to give them access to be able to attend certain events that are happening. You don't necessarily have to be so helicopter over the child, right? To say, oh, don't go here, don't go there. I don't trust people that are there. But if you say, oh, this is a tech event, then
Yeah, even parents these days, like, they are catching their words and,
Yeah,
you know,
as early as
pushing
possible.
them to some certain extramurals after school, maybe during holidays, to go learn one or a few things about tech.
Well, which I think is very beautiful. So, how much more would you say women have participated in the past couple of years? How much more involved are women in tech now?
A lot more.
Okay.
To be very honest, there are a lot more women, and it's also really cool because now you don't have to be the only person, right? Usually before you might hear, oh, I'm the only person in my team, or I'm the only person in my company that is female. It still sort of happens where it's not as much as it used to be, right?
Yeah.
So it's great that you can see that these initiatives or these things that have gotten into place a few years ago are bearing fruit. It's not as much as we'd like to see or as much as it should be.
But there's
It's
progress.
the progress, right?
Okay.
So every form of progress is progress.
All right. So, Gotson, I want to now ask, in the you're the product manager, you know, so you have you're a product manager, but you're the co-organizer for GDG. So how would you say young people or people in Enugu, how would you rate the interest in tech compared to, not even compared to Lagos or any other, those other big cities, but compared to other states in the Southeast? Would you say that, you know, young people in Enugu,
Can I juxtapose Lagos and Enugu now? No, but it's not like it's big, but
no, I want us to bring it down to the Southeast and have it like a convention on the Southeast.
So I started organizing communities in my second year. That was as far back as 2017, 2016, during that period thereof. And interest has grown significantly over the years. And if you check it very well, there are a lot of tertiary universities here, or institutions rather, and we keep exporting talent down to the Lagos that we're refusing to compare
And even
to,
outside too.
and even abroad, for those who work remotely or those who even find themselves in the countries that they work with. And the interest has grown significantly. I know there were days where all I was looking for was 30 people to attend this activity I've put together painstakingly with other volunteers and organizers with me. But now I'm seeing events or activities where we put on, we're seeing a minimal attendance of 80 people. And every now and then you see someone making a conversation, starting a whole set of resource gathering or creating resources. And everyone is looking to learn one niched out thing or one interesting thing in order to dive in. And we're also finding people who are in the intersect of things. So for instance, I'm a product manager. I often call myself a kitchen supervisor because I tend to have bits and pieces of knowledge across different boards. And the idea more or less is, if you find something interesting, go for it. There are a lot of resources out there. But interest is still growing.
Interest is growing.
Yep.
Let's talk about Devfest. I see that I'm not necessarily very interested in tech.
it's not techie.
And I tried to do it one time. My brain was booting.
It happens. It happens.
You just take time and adjust.
Yeah, I do sometimes. I have this. I have this toxic trait where if I'm not instantly good at something, I'm like, okay, please leave me alone.
I think that's
maybe
a
try it again.
Nigerian thing.
Try it again.
Yeah,
You might accommodate now.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I've seen a lot of shaking, so maybe my brain will accommodate now. But I say this because we see I see Devfest around. I think Devfest Potako was a couple of weeks ago or days ago. So I see all these communities and all of that. So tell us about what really, when I see them, like, okay, tech people, what really is Devfest?
All right. So I want to clarify something. Devfest was existing before the FIFA Fest. If you get my drift.
I don't.
Let's leave it at that.
All right.
Let's leave it at that. So basically, Devfest is the full meaning is Developer Festival, but it's gone beyond that definition. It's inclusive to everyone now. Provided you work or you do stuff in tech or you're just an enthusiastic person or you have interest. And the goal of it is that we're coming together to have discussions around Google technologies and other interesting things in tech. It happens globally. It's once a year, towards the end of the year mostly.
Yeah.
But Devfest Enugu itself is a distilled version from the Enugu. The goal is more or less, just like I've said, let's bring people together in one room, have a conversation, demo interesting things, as well as connect and network, because it's the network that brings more positive returns to us as a
And
group.
then growth.
So Devfest happens once a year in all the states. Or the states where there is a GDG.
Where there's a
where
DDD
there's
chapter.
community.
So for Enugu, we are trying to make a brand item where you could easily know what day Devfest will fall on. So we're trying to make it that it's the first Saturday of December of every year. So once you find the first Saturday, you automatically know that that's Devfest. And in order to keep with the branding, we are trying to also make sure that people can easily guess what to wear. So like you've stereotyped us now.
T-shirt and jeans. How about now?
Well, stereotyped us. So this, we thought about that and we said, let's make it a dress code item that everyone can show up with their attires, whether it's traditionally inspired or something very creative. We believe that there's a lot of ways to style this outfit. So everyone can be very unique and not fit the stereotype you've just played out.
That's why you put a lot of thought into what you're wearing.
Let's ask something. Okay, so are we? Are there any? Is there going to be keynote speakers?
Yeah.
Is there?
Oh, lovely.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So basically, the scheduling is very interesting this year. So we have a bunch of speakers. There are about 3 for this year. We also have what we refer to as an extended playlist. So in order to keep time in order, we made some of our speakers record their talks and we'll host it on our YouTube channel. For the community, because we tend to do what is called resource creation. The idea is to have posterity play for us, where people don't just come in the room and talk and it's all said and done. We like to keep future records. So we also have our opening notes from AGD, which is Google Developer Expert for Flutter Technologies, Obum is his name. And we also have keynotes from Ugochukwu Arono of Zen Finance. There's a panel that is talking about talent gap.
Growth
And growth Southeast. And there are also other small interesting things. I would rather just let people show up that day and decide.
Oh, okay. Sounds very interesting.
Okay,
sounds powerful.
But let's just move a little bit from there. I wanted to ask this before. What was like the collaboration of techies in Enugu? In an industry, is the effort of the tiny pieces that makes a whole village, right? So what are like the collaboration for in your industry? Okay,
so Precious, would you like to take that?
Yeah, sure. So typically we like to say we're huge. No, not necessarily. We're a product of every single person that's working in the community, right? And for example, for something like Devfest, we have community partners, different individuals who work as sponsors. So every single person who has maybe an organization or a corporate forum, anything in Enugu, they've chipped in one way or another to make sure that something like Devfest comes forward, right? And through the years, we can say, okay, it's always easy for you to say, how far is this happening? How can we help out? How can we do this? Should I bring my people? Is it funding that we need? And then because of how the community is sort of close-knit, it's easy to know, okay, this person is building something. This is how we can help you, since we have a large base. So there's always constant collaboration. There's constant communication between each other. And it's actually quite great.
Yeah, so to add to what she
Yeah.
says, this is just within the scope of Devfest, but as a community at large, majority of these products or startups you get to hear about, many of the conversations start out from just people meeting themselves, learning about what they do, and doing further interactions. I have met a bunch of people who have gone on to create very interesting products. Some people have gone on to start businesses. Some people have been able to fill in vacancies in their organizations just by meeting someone that's really good at what they did in their first. We constantly get news of, I'm looking for this and we're in this kind of role or this kind of specialty, and the person is one click away or one phone call away.
I think we had something similar like that
Yeah.
at an event earlier this year where somebody spoke and one of the people were like, "Hi, we have like an opening at our company. I like what you just spoke about and we can actually fill you in." So
Yeah.
that's actually very good.
Even just a couple, I think 2 days ago, I went to see one of our enablers. So I prefer to use the word enablers rather than sponsors, because once you say sponsor, people automatically attribute it to cash.
Something like that.
So we say enablers. So I went to one of our enablers to like give him an official invite. And right there, he was looking for a role to fill. And apparently a couple of months back, I had done an activity alongside Precious, and I had met someone who had a spec. So we're just more or less
How
matching.
far are you
Just
available?
balanced out
Yeah.
everything.
Wow. Let's talk about the government's involvement or interest. Yeah,
Tech.
in tech. Are we seeing any, because it's argued, it has been argued that this administration is very interested in young people, their development and all of that. Are we seeing that interest in tech? With GDG Enugu'S
All right.
especially.
So for the most part, like you said, it's something that is, how do I best put it? Arguable, yeah?
Yeah.
But also, for the most part, the community has been self-governing
Yeah.
Okay.
and self-regulating so mostly private people volunteering their time and efforts for the greater good of everyone. We believe that the saying Ubuntu, I am because we are.
Yeah.
So that's more or less. But recently, the government has been finding ways to boost our efforts. There have been certain initiatives and programs and collaborative efforts that have gone in. We are in good terms with this government.
We're in good terms with
That's
the government.
political.
Yes.
Like, very political statement. We're in good terms with the government. Do you want to be in bad terms with the government?
No. You have to understand that part of my day job is being diplomatic, so I will most likely always speak diploma.
You're doing
Yeah,
well.
there's been efforts and we're thankful for this effort.
All right. So I want to also talk about, before I wrap it up, let's talk a bit about funding. To do, I know you have enablers like you're calling them, but it could be difficult, especially if I hope that you guys have trainings and scholarships and try to help people get into tech and all of that. And all of this is cost,
Money intensive.
is cost effective and all of that, requires money. So how do you deal with the funding? Just trying to make sure that the GDG Enugu is still, performing.
Well, like we said, it's usually a community effort, right? And thankfully, because of our affiliation with Google, sometimes they handle like the brunt of the sponsoring.
Oh, okay.
Then you now have like
People
local
chip in,
partners who chip in and say, "Oh, this is how much we can give. This is how much we can give." So sometimes there's also like personal out of pocket or just volunteering. I can do this. We have a few educational startups that are coming out of Enugu, and so we've had them run programs throughout the year. So for instance, there's like Dome Academy, there's Code Divide, people like that just host tech programs, and they're like, okay, in 6 months, this is how much time we're giving. And you find a lot of people in the community volunteering time, efforts, their expertise to train people. And they're usually very helpful, right? So it's great.
So for the most part, in order to add to what she said, basically we have this thing where we only spend what we need to spend.
Yeah.
So for every activity, it starts successfully from making a very lean version of the budget and deciding how we're going to raise this. Then we speak to those enablers. Sometimes it could just be a random using on either of our status, and people who are willing and have the bandwidth would chip in, and before you know it, the activity is running for the time period. Then we do a review, we send a report back to them. That way they know what happened. So everything is transparent, self-regulated.
As well. Yeah. All right, that makes a lot of sense. So on the final note, is Devfest free?
Yes, please. It's
Yeah,
very
okay,
free.
Very free.
There are even refreshments for you.
Okay.
So yeah.
So where's the
Fun
fun
activities.
activities,
Yeah.
refreshments?
And you learn a lot.
So
You're supposed to come for Devfest because you want to learn. Anything else is extra.
it's just the extra.
Everything else is extra.
So,
Where's the venue?
So the venue is Hotel Sylvia,
I do have to stand flyover, opposite Volta Arena.
Okay.
Sam Hotel.
Okay, yes.
So you know it's just nested there. You
Okay.
could always you could get more info about the activity on Devfest Enugu.com.
Oh, Devfest.enugu.com. Oh, is it registered?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Like,
Register.
please,
When
on
you say
time.
register, what do you mean?
You know, because there are people that these events like this, they're like you have to register on the
Yes,
website just to
please.
book your spot or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay. Yeah, you do have to get tickets. Get before
Okay,
it runs
yes,
out.
yes.
But we would
Because
already
they're like, it's limited.
Limited tickets.
limited
Okay.
capacity.
Okay.
More or
Wow.
less.
How many thousand?
8,000 people, 500.
I plead the
Feel it
fifth.
first.
Okay. All right. So if you are interested in tech, or if you are already in tech, if you're interested in tech, you have family around tech is entering your eye, anything around that, do well to make it for Devfest Enugu. It's very, very important. It's going to be happening at Hotel Sylvia. Hotel Sylvia is around Sam's Hotel. If you do not know, you can put it in Google Maps. You definitely get it there. And it's going to be happening first Saturday in December, which is 7th of
7th
December.
December.
What time?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. So
No
do well to
African
make it
time.
for it. No
Please
African
come on
time.
time.
Tech people don't do African time. You should know that
You'll
by
be
now.
surprised that Enugu people.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of both.
It's a mixture.
What you cool. Anyways, thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
Godson and
you.
Precious,
All right.
for talking to us this
Thank
morning.
you very much.
We'll go on a very quick break. When we return, more conversations on the morning show.